Good evening, everyone. This video is going to be a trading review and support session for July the 5th, 2023. First day after the very long weekend. Might have been a little bit rusty. So kind of let's go through what the daily was looking like as we were getting started today. So this is today. And when we first started, it was more red than this. So it kind of had the pretense of being kind of a down day, but I wanted to make sure what it was going to do before I started trading. So it didn't really want to go down initially. And here we were at the open, so pretty much flat, right? But it then popped up. I didn't go long for a while until about there. Just want to make sure it wasn't going to be kind of a fake out move. So did that. Got a little bit nervous. I only took one tick. Took another trade here and got out there. Took another entry here, probably a little bit late. Added to it here and was out there. But so far, still okay. Let me move over. Took another trade here, and then out before the daily bias had a couple of ticks. Took another trade here and just kept it for a while. And then let's see, where did I get out of that trade at? I think I got, oh yeah, here it is. I got out here. So out of that trade, pull back down to the EMA, and wasn't, let's see, this was coffee break time, wasn't in front of the computer right here. So we got news at 7, right? And it was, slow flex was down, and EMA was collapsing right around the minute average. Kind of waited to go short. Now the three-minute moving average is way down here, and that is still a pretty positive trend. So I'm calling this this a kind of a crossing pattern. Now here's the value high, which is around the 3-minute lows as well. So waited a second to see if it was really going to go down, and they kind of fooled me. So I went short here, but this is this is kind of a mistake. I'm calling it a mistake, and it is one of my weaknesses to go for these crossing patterns. It's not a huge crossing pattern. All right, I mean it didn't look too bad. Double topped up here, kind of coming down, but volume put a control here. But I will discuss some things at the end of the session. I'll bring over the live chart and some things that I'm doing. You saw some of the things I'm going to do, just to kind of let me know that there's some things that said this was an aggressive trade, right? So this would have been a counter trend trade. So counter long trend trade. Short term is okay. So did that, kept it for a minute. Then my seller came in, right? So I added to it, but it didn't come back, right? So then I reversed, and then so there's a loss, right, that I have booked. So now I'm long 2. I added to it here, added to it here. So now I'm long 4. I got out of 3, right? I just didn't get out of the 4th one, and so kind of got back on through here. So I was kind of waiting for some profit up in here that I didn't get, and so added to it here, and kind of the same thing, right? I fell for the same thing twice in one day, actually within 10 minutes of each other. So let's see, where did I reversed somewhere around there anyway. So again, it's kind of a fool. Here's the 3-minute moving average, right? It's still moving up, right? And we're still above the 3-minute moving average. And so this is just kind of like one of those days where it wasn't extremely moving, right? A little bit of a low volume kind of a day as it was kind of going through. So it really wasn't doing too much. So they got me on the reverse again. And if we move over, so now I'm short, and then I just closed, right? Didn't add to it anymore. It just wasn't working, so I closed. And so I mean, I did trade a little bit more and improve the loss a little bit, but you know, with two big reverses, there was not going to be too much of an opportunity to catch up. Not with today's market anyway. Had it been a little bit wilder market, sure, then maybe, but not today. So here's kind of what I wanted to go through, and so I worked on this some. I saw it some. So and I've even added to it since then. I want to see, you know, in these areas what's going on. Like for instance, right, the arrows, same. I mean, so their placement isn't necessarily significant. It's just that no matter where I look, I'm going to be seeing at this point 4 arrows, right? No matter where I'm looking, my eyes should be able to catch up. I'm going to see 3, you know, green moving averages. So right now everything is green, right? The arrow is going to be green as long as the EMA is above the minute average, right? Which they would have been this whole time. This whole time the EMA would have been green, right? So and at that point, somewhere around here, right? You know, this is in the after, you know, slow market, right? But somewhere around here, right, the slow flex would have turned green as well when price action had entered in the slow flex. It's running away from the EMA, and you see even in the aftermarket, it's you know, afternoon market, it's trying to go up. So I may do some formatting on this a little bit, maybe get your input on it to see what you think, if there's a better way to paint this picture a little bit more. I mean, we used to have the slow, the fast zone and the slow zone, but that seems to obscure the chart some. So I may take a look at that again. I don't know. I don't think anybody really liked it that much because it kind of obscures the bars a little bit. So I may take a look at that. But this is my method right now, right? So of course the most important thing is you know, is slow flex around the EMA, right? You don't want to take a trade underneath the EMA unless you really see some bottoming action and a lot of volume, right? So so the EMA, so that would be the price action. The EMA being above the minute average, right, means the short term is kind of agreeing with the long term, and then the moving 3MA agreeing with that is you're in agreement even with the longer term moving average. So that's kind of my story today. I may try to just intentionally bore myself with fewer trades and higher probability trades for some time to make sure I kick this bad habit of the crossing pattern. So I hate to be bored, but you know, it might be kind of required for a while to make sure we're staying on the correct side of the market. And you know, it may go sideways for a while and they may not get really well aligned, but when it does get really well aligned, it turns into a good trade. So so that's what I'm going to be trying to wait on. All right, so hopefully the room doesn't get too boring, but making, you know, relatively easy money is better than today anyway, having a couple of reverses and racking up a few losses today that I'll need to recover from. So completely doable, but you know, down days, you know, negative days are never necessarily fun. So if you watch this video, we'll talk about it some more in the morning with you know, with a little bit broader. This is really a close market right now, so it'll be look a little bit different when the market has some range in it. So until then, we'll see you in the trading room tomorrow morning.